Welcome to Special Fit. I'm Mike Ramirez here with another movement tip for you. Today we're talking about rotation and anti-rotation, our last of our primal movement pattern series. We don't need to go too in depth about different prompts and cues. These exercises are going to be pretty not easy to accomplish, but less complicated than some of the other exercises. Basically what we're trying to do is to get a separation from the shoulders and the hips. So it's a rotation at the trunk. This is the transverse plane that divides the lower and the upper part of my body. So there are a bunch of different exercises that we can do it. I'm sure you can come up with some of your own, but here are some of the ones that we like to use in the gym. The first one being the Russian twist. So we get down on the ground and grab a med ball. You can grab a smaller one, heavier ball, whatever you want to do, wherever the child can do it. And basically what we're looking for is that rotation here, so that they're turning and they're tapping. And notice that I have these markers here as a visual cue to tell them where to place the ball. A lot of times what you'll see with children that have issues with this rotation is that they'll only use their arms, so their shoulders won't actually separate. So we need to use some sort of prompt or cue to help them twist. So if that means maybe moving the markers a little bit further back so they actually turn and touch, that might be one way of doing that. Come up here, we can also do this on a slightly different type of motion, and we can add a little bit of power behind it, where they might step here and have this kind of position, and we'll have them rotate and toss the ball into the wall, something like that. If your child has trouble with gripping or something like that, they can throw it and actually let the ball drop, but as long as they give that force going into the wall, we'll get a little bit of that rotation at the trunk. What we're aiming for here is to create a little bit more stability and strength throughout, especially the obliques, but basically the whole midline all the way through. Another thing that we can do is something called a Palloff press. I'm going to have you come over here. Stability is the resistance of movement in total. So whenever we move, any of the exercises that we've shown all have some form of rotation involved. So even when you walk, your body is slightly rotating. So you're always kind of working against this in a balanced kind of way, stability. Even if you were standing perfectly still, if you were to close your eyes, you would feel that your weight kind of shifts back and forth. Your body's always trying to figure out where that center of mass needs to be. So when we have an external load and we're trying to move, whether it's up or down, whatever it might be, these obliques are always trying to help you stabilize. Other muscles are helping as well, but we're always trying to create some sort of stability. So we can create that strength through the dynamic movement or through a static movement. So this is the Palloff press. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and kind of get into a high lunge position. It's not going to be too low, something like this. And I basically want that band to create some tension, and I'm going to pull it. So I'm going to rotate. And now my shoulders and hips are square, and from here I'm going to bring that here to my chest and straight out. The band wants to pull me that way. So my obliques are working really hard to stabilize the band right here and push it in and out like so. So that's something you can do with a student of yours. You can put your hands as a target to make sure that they push it straight in, that it doesn't allow the band to pull them out. So that's just a few examples of what we're looking at in terms of rotation. So like I said, I'm sure you can come up with a bunch of different ways to do rotation or anti-rotation. But the main important thing we want to get about this particular primal movement pattern is that we need rotation programmed into your child's workout routine. And the reason for that is that a lot of times exercise won't involve that. So we see a lot of movement on the sagittal plane, very little on the frontal plane, but we especially don't see a lot of exercises done enough on the transverse plane. So that rotation is really important, especially if they want to go out and play a sport, or if they want to go out and do something where they need that type of rotation to occur, and we definitely want to increase that stability, which will enhance all the different movements that we do. So that is our movement tip for today, and the final one in our primal movement patterns. Hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a like on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching.